My name is Tiana Kavanaugh, and here is my presentation on disproportionality by race and disability. The first district I analyzed is going to be San Francisco Unified School District. This is going to be in Northern California, and you can see here their diagram of their school district map. And so for San Francisco Unified, they're going to have African American students at 6.24%, American Indians or Alaska Native students at 0.18%, Asian students 30.85%, Filipino students 3.59%, Hispanic or Latino students at 33.62%, Pacific Islander at 0.71%, white at 13.36%, two or more races 8.26%, and not reported 3.28%. So you can see here that they're going to have the most Hispanic and Latino students, or followed by Asian students at 30.85%, and then follow that by white students. So for their suspension rates, African American students are suspended at 13.8%, American Indian or Alaska Native students 6.59%, Asian students at 0.5%, Filipino students at 2.47%, Hispanic at 3.78%, Pacific Islander at 9.67%, white at 1.19%, two or more races at 3.17%, and not reported at 2.16%. So here you can see them divided by their subgroups. So English language learners are going to be suspended at 3.1%, foster youth at 14.49%, homeless youth at 4.75%, migrant education at 1.48%, social economically disadvantaged at 4.23%, students with disabilities at 7.72%. So here you can see that there's a disproportionate rate that foster youth students are going to be suspended at higher rates than other, despite being the least amount of students represented, the second least amount of students represented. But overall, African American students are suspended at higher disproportionate rates than other races, and foster youth, like I said, are suspended at higher disproportionate rates than any other group. The next district that I analyzed is going to be Los Angeles Unified. Here you can see the map of Los Angeles Unified School Districts, their diagram. And so for Los Angeles Unified School District, they're going to have 7.4% of African American students, 0.11 American Indian, Alaska Native students, 3.23 Asian students, 1.64% of Filipino students, 73.26% of Hispanic or Latino students, 0.16% are Pacific Islander, 9.7% of students are white, and 2.09% are two or more races, and lastly 2.33% are not reported. So for their suspension rates, they are going to have 1.82% of African Americans suspended, 0.51% of American Indian, Alaska Native, 0.18% of Asian students, 0.17% of Filipino students, 0.55% of Hispanic Latino students, 0.9% of Pacific Islander, 0.5% white, 0.45% two or more races, and 0.45% of not reported. So for English language learners, they're going to have 0.5% that are going to be suspended. Foster youth are going to be 4.47%, homeless youth 1.09%, migrant education 0.96%, social economically disadvantaged 0.67%, students with disabilities 1.23%. And overall here you can see that African American students again are going to be suspended at higher disproportionate rates than any other races within this district. Also foster youth are suspended at higher disproportionate rates than any other group. And lastly, the last district that I analyzed is going to be San Diego Unified, which is going to be way down in Southern California by the border. You can see here their diagram of their district. So they are going to have 7.41% of African American students, 0.22% of American Indian, Alaska Native, 9.61% of Asian, 4.39% are Filipino, 44.85% are Hispanic or Latino, 0.38% are Pacific Islander, 23.74% are white, 9.14% are two or more races, and 0.26 did not report their race. And then here you can see their suspension rates. So African Americans are going to be suspended at 8.12%, American Indian Alaska Native at 2.68%, Asian at 0.86%, Filipino at 1.09%, Hispanic Latino at 3.454%, Pacific Islander at 2.34%, white at 2.14%, two or more races at 2.92%, and then 1.16% of students not reported are suspended. And then here are them divided by groups. So they're going to be 3.46% of English language learners are going to be suspended, 23.2% of foster youth, 5.77% of homeless youth, 0.98% of migrant education, and then 4.06% socioeconomically disadvantaged, and 6.92% of students with disabilities. So overall, again, you can see that that African Americans are suspended at disproportionate and higher rates than any other races, and foster youth are suspended at higher disproportionate rates than any other group. And so the impact, so students that are suspended are going to have lower academic achievement, higher rates of repeating a grade, and are more likely to drop out of school and less likely to graduate if they are repeatedly disciplined due to school missed, and it making it harder to catch up. And not only that, but also socially they fall behind as well. And then here is a note for all the comparisons within all the districts that I looked at. So despite LAUSD having the most amount of students identified with disabilities, they have lower suspension rates, so that's good. And then despite San Diego Unified School District having the least amount of students identified as foster youth, they have higher suspension rates than any other district that I looked at. And then despite SFSD having the least amount of students as identified as African American, they have higher suspension rates. So you can see here, you can see all the disproportionality within each district when comparing it to other districts. So like I said, San Francisco Unified School District, they're going to have the most, or the least amount of students identified, but the most amount of suspension rates when compared to other districts. So they need to bring that down. And then San Diego Unified School District, they're going to have the least amount of foster youth, so they need to bring their suspension rates down. And then, yes, that is everything. Here's my references, and thank you so much.